Hello to the people who have joined. Very good evening. We'll be starting the webinar around 7:03. So we're just waiting for some more people to join in. So please be patient and wait for us. Also, I would just like you to know in the middle, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A section where you can put down your questions, and I will be actually asking our panelists to surely answer that. And yeah, please give your questions on the Q&A section. Hello and a very warm good evening to all of you who have joined today for this webinar where we are going to talk about Masters in Europe in 2023 with two panelists who did it all before us. But before I introduce you to them, I would like you to tell something about GradRight and why it exists today. GradRight is an ed fintech startup, which is not a consultancy, but an advisor for students to choose the best universities, which match their profile and where the students have a chance of getting admits from. And also, after the admits, we also want the students to get the best funding available out there. So we are here to eradicate the biases that the students have to face on their journey to go abroad in getting into universities and the difficulties in getting the right funds with the best interest rate. So stick around till the end as we would help you understand in detail one of our platforms, Select Right, how it works, and also you might have an opportunity to get a free SOP review or a free mentorship program. Now, jumping into introductions, we have Krishna Bhatt, an MBA graduate from the class of 2020 to 2021 from State Business School, University of Oxford, UK. Hello, Krishna. Thank you for being present for this webinar today.
Hey man, nice to be here actually. Overall, I'm really, again, when I applied for the business school in 2019, it was a very, very different time. We were living in a different world. And I wish I had access to more resources. So I'm happy to be here to help more students get ahead from here.
Yeah, thank you so much for this, really. And the other person we have today is another MBA graduate from the class of 2019 to 2020 from the Dublin Business School, Ireland, Atiyah Chaudhary. Hello, Atiyah. Thank you to you two actually for being present for this webinar today. And really, it will be really helpful for us to hear from both of you.
Hello, hi, thanks. Hi, everyone. So I'm here just to share my experiences, but on the things we have missed out in our previous application for master's degree. So here to happy to answer all your questions here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, both of you. Before we jump into a few things, I would really like to introduce or tell you something about the business schools they have been to. State Business School, University of Oxford in the UK is a thriving and cutting edge business school that is tightly integrated into 800-year-old institution of higher education. It is consistently ranked as one of the top world's top business schools as well. And Dublin Business School is reputed as Ireland's leading independent college, offering a wide range of undergraduate, postgraduate, and professional programs, not only in business but also in arts and law. And now, before we go ahead, I would like to share a poll with all the attendees present today, where we would just like to know which country, intake, and program are you preferring to go for your master's abroad. So kindly please share the poll. So yeah, these are the questions. What topics would you like us to cover in this webinar? Admission criteria, application process, scholarship and funding, placement and career opportunities. The second question is around what stage are you in your study abroad journey, exploring universities, shortlisting universities, applied, or are you awaiting for the decision, looking for funds? And the third question is around in which country are you planning to pursue your masters? I think this is more important as well. UK, Ireland, France, Germany, other countries. Please let us know your preferences. Again, please share your preferences over here. We would really like to know. And in a minute or so, we'll just stop the poll. Uh, yeah, yeah. So we have stopped the poll, and here are the results. Around 24% of the people are actually looking for admission criteria, application process, around 35%, scholarships and funding, 12%, placements and career opportunities as well has around 29%. So yes, we are going to talk about a lot of these things in this webinar today. So please stick around till the end. Most of the students are actually exploring universities. So yes, this is the right webinar for you today to understand how universities are in abroad. If you are into shortlisting universities, yes, we'll be able to help you understand about that as well. Applied and awaiting for decision. Great to see you here, and looking for funds. Yes, we'll be talking about funds a bit as well. Okay, that's great to see that a lot of you are wanting to go to UK and Ireland, Germany as well. But yeah, we'll try to talk about Germany a bit as well if we can. So thank you for your responses, everyone. Now, before we start, I would just like to tell you that this webinar is not going to be just any other webinar. We'll be starting with something unusual, which is a rapid fire round, which happens at the end, where I would, I'm going to ask a few phrases, or I'm going to say a few phrases to both Atiyah and Krishna. And I would like both of you to actually answer one after the other why, and just defend yourself, to be very honest, why your business school or country is better for an MBA under that parameter. And we would just like your insights on this, because I think a lot of us will be, will be able to see two different perspectives. So the first point that I would really like you to, actually get into would be benefits for international students. Krishna, if you would like to go first.
I think overall, for international students, most countries have their own sort of suite of benefits. What I like about the UK is that it's an Anglophone country, so you speak English, which is really a
Okay.
big deal compared to many others. And
Okay.
specifically, the University of Oxford has the world's most diverse MBA cohort. So we had
Understood.
people from about 68 or 69 countries represented, including many people from places I'd never even heard of. So while I was studying, we had the
Okay.
Myanmar crisis. One of my classmates was from Myanmar. We were able to discuss really what happened on the ground and what we learned from that with a
Okay.
classmate of ours, which is a great experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Atiyah, would you like to go next, please?
So I have completed master's in data analytics, but I would be talking, I can also talk about MBA courses as well. So the prime decision why I took master's in Ireland was 1 year of master degree course. And although the job opportunities are good because most of the companies have their head office in Ireland. So that were the
Okay.
two main reasons I chose.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Atiyah, could you just tell us why, like, what are the post-study work opportunities in Ireland?
And another good reason why I chose Ireland, you get 2 years of work study post your graduation. And that's like an
Okay.
ample time. Like if even if you're starting to look for jobs here in Ireland, whether technical or non-technical, I guess 2 years is good enough time to find job for anybody, even if it's fresher or if it's experienced person. So we do have a lot of job opportunities for both experienced and freshers. So good days. So you can apply for jobs. And once you're on work visa, you can apply for residency as well. And yep, that's the reason.
Thank you so much for that. I think that's really helpful. Krishna, could you please tell us why, like the post-study work opportunities in UK as well?
I believe it's the same thing in terms of visa for both countries. So we have a 2-year post-study work visa
Yep.
called the graduate route visa, which has been super
Yeah.
helpful. On top of that, working in the United Kingdom itself is very much, it's certain, like this is one of those areas where I like to warn students coming in that it's not as easy as it is in India. Like your university is not
Okay.
going to work to place you. Employers are not running after you to say, hey, please work for me. But if you're willing to put in the effort and do the hard work of reaching out to companies, applying to every single job you see on LinkedIn and finding what you're a good fit for, my class of 312 students, almost all of them found the job they really wanted, I think 6 months
Okay.
before the end of the MBA. So it's a very high success rate, but it involves a lot of hard work. So you need to do your research before you come in.
That's for sure. That's for sure. I mean, I think for both countries and any of the universities you go for, you need to have that enthusiasm to do that hard work and that research if you're going to go abroad for, even for work as well. The next parameter basically is ease on application process. So, Krishna, I would like you to go first on this. How do you think is the application process for State Business School, Oxford?
Every single MBA college in the world has a very sort of streamlined application process. They want your GMAT scores, they want your essays, and during your application process, if you've done a great enough job, they'll shortlist you for an interview, and then the interview stage is where you'll really be judged. In terms of
Okay.
preparing for how easy or hard the application process is, I'd say universities with a higher reputation generally have a much larger amount of people applying. So small
Yes.
mistakes can really get you in trouble, and the numbers really do matter. So applying from India, if you have a low GMAT score, it's very unlikely that you'll make the shortlist. So
Understood.
you need to
Understood.
figure out what you're good at and really make sure you double down on those areas. For me
Yeah.
personally,
So,
I gave the CAT, so the GMAT wasn't challenging. So if any of you are preparing for the CAT,
okay.
go ahead and apply for the GMAT with your eyes closed.
That's great. That's great. I think everybody who is present here, you should actually note these things down. Yeah, Atiyah, for the same point for you, ease on application process for MBA schools in Ireland or even Dublin Business School.
So like it's like a very general application process. You just submit your IELTS score and your previous like bachelor's or any other degrees you have, and then you just write your SOPs. As Krishna mentioned, that for universities you need to write a good SOP. You need to apply on the right time because the competition would be more. And if you do not apply on the right time, you might miss the chance to apply to universities. But colleges are pretty good on that, and like even if you apply late, your application can be accepted if your technical background or your previous background is relatively similar.
So
So
there
yeah.
are a lot of parameters somewhere, or I should say, a lot of things that the student has to go with. Again, as Krishna said before, everyone who is here today, please do your hard work with due diligence. And I think the research matters a lot here. Now, the last point that I would really like to know from both of you on this rapid fire round, Atiyah, you can go first here. The teaching methodology, how it is in the island in Dublin Business School.
So it's not like the traditional, like in India, you just go through theoretical studies and then, just learn or by heart the things. So here it's more like experimental, more like practical knowledge. So you might have few theory-based modules in your course, which is MS or MB, anything, but it'll be more like industrial focus, like how would you deal with things or tools or technologies when you work into industry. So it's like an overall development process. So you don't really just read things, you don't really just learn things, you implement them. So it's like we are preparing you to get ready for industrial work, how the web pressure would be, how you can work in a diverse culture, how you
Mhm.
can work individually, how you can work in a group. So just a preparation and just adding to you some more skills, how you can prepare for interviews. So I had a very good experience and it gave me wider um, expectations on in terms of what I would be looking in terms of job. But it really helped me when I started preparing for interviews by doing all these presentation which I had during my master's course. So yeah, I had a really good experience with that one.
Okay, bear with me. I think it's not like anything like 11 or 12 in India. There is a lot of practical knowledge that you get for sure. Same question to you, Krishna. Teaching methodology.
I believe the University of Oxford has somewhat of a unique teaching methodology because they've established a system called the collegiate system. So, for
Okay.
example, in Mumbai University, there's 20 different colleges that all share different degrees. The University of Oxford
Okay.
created a system where under the University of Oxford, there are about 40 colleges. However,
Hmm.
colleges are responsible for your personal life, whereas the business school, in my case, is responsible for teaching me. If you're doing a master's
Okay.
in biology or conservation, then the School of Biology, the School of History will be the ones which are teaching you.
Understood.
That being said, as Atiyah pointed out, right, most teaching is experiential. Most teaching is done on a case study basis. So you don't really have to learn a book. You'll have to prepare for a case study. You have to prepare for that day's activities, but your learning will be in the classroom and with your classmates while working on projects, while working on assignments and exercises.
So
I don't think
mostly,
most people who apply for MBAs are applying for an MBA to study. There's not much studying done. There's no basic curriculum that's standardized across the world for a business degree. But during your business degree, you're going to learn a lot more from your classmates and from the case studies you work
yeah,
on. And ideally, you should be learning toward the job role you want to go for.
yes,
Most master's degrees
absolutely.
are about specializing somewhere, whereas specifically a business degree is about getting your next job. So you should know what your next job ideally will be before you start your MBA and then learn, pick assignments, pick classes, and speak to professors and classmates accordingly.
Okay, okay. Having that clarity in some regard that, whatever you're actually aiming for, you can actually opt for that as well. That is the really, good insight. And thank you for both of you for your insight. And I think you might have already answered this question somewhere or the other, but we would really like to know, first of all, from Atiyah itself, why did you choose Ireland as the country that you wanted to go for? And would you change your mind if you were doing it in today's time?
So I had a lot of reasons why I chose Ireland. I did my lot of research which country to choose from. My prime reason was for 1 year master degree, and wherever I was
Okay.
applying, like initially when we applied to UK did not have an option for like post study 2 years of work visa. So I didn't choose UK, and like 1 year master degree was a win-win situation for me, that too affordable. And there were like a lot of corporate industries, like I was into technical data analytics, software development. So I was pretty sure that Ireland has a lot of MNCs, their headquarters. So I was sure about the job opportunities here as well. And 2 years of work visa gave me an assurity, like even if like I do not have an experience in the field I would be applying to, which is data analytics or machine learning or anything, I would be able to apply to some graduate roles. So I had a confidence like after my course completion, I would be able to grab job within like 6 months or 1 year. So I thought 2 year would be a good enough time. And if people are looking for long-term opportunities within the Europe, I think Ireland would give me the accessibility, because if we have some 6 months to 1 year of experience, we can apply anywhere within the Europe. So yeah, these were
Okay.
the prime reasons.
Okay. And same question to you, Krishna. Why UK? And would you actually change your mind if you were doing it in today's time?
I think my approach to applying for business schools is very much, it started from the wrong end. Like it's a reverse of the usual approach. Where I applied for
Okay.
every single Indian business school, didn't get into the schools I wanted to, even with a great CAT score, and decided it's time to apply for an international school as well.
Okay.
So I got a good GMAT score. And when you give the GMAT, they tell you to shortlist 5 colleges. So I think a week
Yes.
before the GMAT, I realized I had to pick 5 colleges. And my decision
Okay.
criteria at the time was I don't want to work or study in the States because one, as Atiyah pointed out, they're 2 year degrees, which are a lot more expensive and a lot more time than I want to be spending studying. And also, I'm not the biggest fan of work culture and essentially the culture in general of the United States of America. Outside of that, for English
Okay.
speaking countries that are left over, I was choosing of schools between the UK and Singapore. And also at that
Understood.
time, Ireland, I picked the top ranked schools that worked for my score and hit the apply button. At the end of the day,
Okay.
when you choose a country, the criteria was, can I work there, as Atiyah pointed out? So is there
Okay.
a viable post-study work visa? Two, is the economy itself going well enough that I can expect to find a job that suits my criteria? And finally, three, do I like the work culture? Do I like the place there? Because a master's degree is usually the last degree you're going to study in your life. It's much, much harder to change geographies after you've picked sort of one geography post that degree. So you really need to think much more about who you are as a person and where you want to live for the next few years when you make this decision.
I mean, it completely makes sense. Both of your points are somewhere related to the work culture, and after your masters, if you're willing to work somewhere, you should be comfortable with the place as well. And I think it completely makes sense on the points that you actually mentioned. As Krishna, you already pointed out this point, and I think somewhere Atiyah also did. The next question that I really want to know, and I think it would be really helpful for everyone, would be, since both of you have had the chance to pursue your masters in different segments altogether, you might have had the chance to, even give interviews for your admission. A lot of students would really benefit from your insights for this for sure. So, could you please share a few insights on this, Krishna? If you could go first.
I think a quick note on this one is that it's a little, I used to work in human resources, so I've conducted my fair share of interviews. And I had 3 years of full work experience in the corporate sector, so I wasn't new to interviewing either. So in that sense, one thing I really recommend to every single person who's applying for a master's in a foreign country is to give as many mock interviews as possible, because there's no preparation like the real thing.
Understood.
For me personally,
Okay.
my interview process was with a professor in the business school itself. And my goals when I started the interview was, one, be very, very prepared with a 2-minute elevator pitch. So if someone asks you to introduce yourself, you should be able to summarize that in 2 minutes, not more, not less. Be very sure
Okay.
about every single thing you've written down in your application. So they're going to ask you questions based on what you've written down. And if you wrote about a specific project, please expect the interviewer to dive very, very deep into that project, who was responsible, what you did right. The STAR framework is really helpful here. So if you can take any question and talk about the situation you worked on, what you did about it, what your timelines are, and then finally what the results of your work were, that's really, really helpful. Google the STAR
Okay.
framework, I guess.
Uh,
But also,
Understood.
not only do you need to be prepared on your information, the application form, and how to speak, but also you need to make sure you present yourself to an interviewer. So be comfortable, be a little relaxed if you can, crack a joke or two, and be very, very honest about what you're trying to do, because when you're over prepared for an interview, it does show. And at the end of the day,
Okay.
foreign universities want to recruit real people to join them, not robots who sort of studied a script and are ready with a checklist. The best way to prepare
Understood.
also is mock interviews. So just talk to as many people as you can.
Okay. So cracking jokes is fine when it comes to interviews, huh? I didn't know that.
I
But
strongly
yeah.
recommend it. I think I applied to 3 business schools finally and interviewed at 3 separate business schools. The only one I didn't get into was the one I didn't crack a joke in. So
Okay, that's good. But okay, thank you for that insight again. So people have some jokes up your sleeve. I think it will be really helpful for you. Jokes apart, yeah, Atiyah, I would also like to hear the same from you. Any insights on how someone should actually prepare for their interviews?
So my major suggestions to the people who are going through interviews or applying to master's degree: first, choose the course that interests you, not what's trending in the job market. A lot of people have a drawback, like they just choose what's trending in the market and they're not able
Mm-hmm.
to cope up with the interviews. Firstly, this.
True that.
And research
Yes.
what are the job opportunities available, like check on LinkedIn, check the present work scenarios, like what all jobs are available and what sort of jobs you're looking for. Look out, like I'll be talking more technical here, so look out for the tools, technologies, and the desired experience they are looking for, like what prior experience you need to have. If there are any certifications apart from your master's degree, do you need to do that? Or are you even eligible enough to do that? And the second thing is, make your resume crisp and be confident, be honest about what you have written in your resume, as Krishna mentioned. If you're not honest, if you're not confident, you might, that will be highlighted when you give those interviews. And uh, the work culture here, like the interview culture, which I have faced across, I have been through 10, 15 interviews, honestly. And the only thing what they look for is be honest. Like I went through a lot of coding interviews. Like if I am like vocal about what I know about coding, so they could see that through you. You don't really have to get the result out of some, code questions or code answers. You have to be vocal about what you have written in your resume. And if you reach to the right destination, like just speaking about the things on your own, you would land a good job here. It's not like this is the experience I have in India. Like you need some results. Like if I'm doing a coding, I need to get some result, otherwise I cannot pass that interview. So that's one thing. And the second thing for interview is be good on behavioral questions. The companies over here, they look out for diverse culture, how you can fit within the company if you will be working within a big organization. So there are a lot of behavioral questions which company filters out on initial basis. So work on that. You will find a lot of interview questions online on that end as well. And yes, look out for the keywords, whatever the job opportunities you are looking for, what sort of companies are specifically looking for. Just alter your resume based on that, because I have personally experienced, like, if I just specify I worked into Java, I worked into Python, no, that's not going to make any sense. If I would add more descriptive, like a description about what sort of previous experience I worked into, was it a service-based company or e-commerce company, so what sort of projects I work into. So make it crisp, make it short, but be good about your words or the keywords you use on a resume. Keep it short, and also add your interest. People, I mean, the jobs which apply internationally, they do want to see what you are apart from work, what interests you, what else do you like, what are your hobbies. So that actually adds to resume building. And when you are going for your initial interview round, those people would not have any technical knowledge, but they will want to see your behavior, how you speak, how you talk. So the first round is critical for the people who have some limitations in terms of speaking. But yes, create and add those hobbies, interests, whatever you are interested into. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. I think we got a lot of answers here, people. It's not just answers related to, admission criteria or the interviews that you're giving for at universities, but also in regards to the jobs. Both of you, thank you so much for those insights. I think it really helps me as well as being part of GradRight. I've been trying to help a lot of students understand what are the things they need to prepare for. This will be really insightful for me as well, and also for sure for the students who are here. Um, I think we touched on SOP somewhere or the other right now when we were talking about things, and we have seen a lot of students, they actually are, very reluctant when it comes to SOP writing and how they write it. They're not very sure even if their SOPs are so great when they write it. So, in your experience, Atiyah, I would like you to go first on this. Three underrated yet overlooked SOP mistakes that students make. What do you think that could be?
People, they try to align their the course they are applying to what they have prior experience into. Imagine some mechanical engineer is applying for job for masters in data analytics or engineering. So be, honest about what you're trying to add, and don't fake your experiences. Like, even if you have a year gap of 1 year, 2 year, that's fine. You were exploring yourself, you were exploring options. If the things didn't work out, that's fine. So I mean, just be honest about what you add to your SUP, and be crisp about what you had decided in your previous life and why the things didn't work out. You can explain those and then apply to the right course. And again, choose the course that interests you. I see a lot of people just applying to, okay, data analytics in job market, MBAs in job market, let's apply. So you will struggle when you reach here. You'll be not able to find jobs, and then you will blame the universities or the colleges or the country that you're not able to land the job. Guys, work on your skills. I mean, if you have the right skills, you will definitely land a job, and within like 1 year or 6 months, nobody can stop you. You apply to 10 interviews, you land a job. So, like, going back to SOP, so yes, work crisp. So the main important things what they look for, what your prior experience is, why you're applying to this country or this universities, why what makes you decide to choose only that university, although there were a lot of universities in the country as well as different countries as well. So you have to be honest, and you have to be like crisp about your SOP.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Atya. Yeah, same question to Krishna. Three underrated yet overlooked SOP mistakes students actually make.
I think the number one mistake I've seen far too many people make is to, and this is, I think, a problem with the way you work, right? You're trying to apply to many colleges and optimize for your time. So you're building one SOP and then modifying it slightly for every single university or degree that you're applying to. Don't do that. Don't use a template, and don't essentially try and reuse most of one essay for another essay, because you can, one, have very clear obvious issues where you type the wrong name of one school and sent it to another school, and that's an immediate rejection from that business school. It costs you a decent amount of money to apply to any school, so please make sure you write an essay for that and for that specifically. Number two, try and be very, very clear in your application why you're applying to that specific business school. If you're applying to 7 different MBA colleges because you want an MBA, that's completely understandable. That's a natural way of doing things. But London Business School needs to know why you choose London Business School over the University of Oxford. Dublin Business School is going to want to know why you specifically want to work in Ireland versus any other option you have. So you can't just write a boilerplate essay saying, I want an MBA. Your essay really has to clearly say, I want an MBA at this business school in this location because. And what's it? I need a number 3. Yeah, a number 3 would essentially be make sure you take your time writing an essay, because when you come to these business schools, when you come to these technical schools, a lot of your examinations are going to involve writing an essay. A lot of your work is going to involve writing emails and writing things. And if you need help writing specifically one essay, then maybe you're not ready for that business school yet. Right? You really, really have to make sure that this is something you can do, because you're going to do a lot more of it. So it's better to get good at doing this now before you start business school than sometime later.
Okay. I mean that both of you, thank you again. It's really insightful for sure. Um, I think students should actually start writing their SOPs on the basis of their own experience and not, taking any drafts from anywhere. But as I would like to jump to the next part of these, this whole webinar, and there's just the saying, right? With great power comes great responsibilities. I just want to tweak it a little bit. With great universities comes great pressure, and both of your schools are the top in the world. And did you have any kind of pressure after your graduation, or at any point that you definitely have to come out and succeed in life, and you can't do anything, no matter what, you have to succeed? Was there any such pressure? And if yes, how did you tackle it? Krishna, I would like you to, start with this.
I think specifically coming to any foreign business school, it can be a very lonely experience, because you've left your house, you've left your entire support system and your friends, you're here in a foreign country, and everybody around you generally tends to look like they know their shit. Right? So it's often, I think, the biggest challenge at studying in a foreign school is the imposter syndrome, where you come in somewhere and feel, hey, I'm not as smart as all these people. Maybe I don't deserve to be here. And that carries on into the job hunt. That carries on to general pressure while writing your essays. You're like, hey, I used to be top of my class, but now I'm in a world-class school, and I'm obviously not top of my class anymore because the quality of students coming in is so high. It is a lot of pressure, and to try and pretend that this is a wonderful, rosy experience would be a bit of a lie. However, it's important to remember two things. One, the business schools and generally most colleges across the planet are profit-seeking institutions. They would not accept any of you as a student if you weren't good enough to get out of there and do a good job. The entire application process is designed to make sure they're only getting in students who will land good jobs and will improve the ranking of the business school. You wouldn't be there if you weren't good enough. And number two, if you're in a top school, then you're already better than 99% of the world already there. When you enter the job market, you're not competing against the people around you and the people you know and the people who are very much at that caliber. You're competing against the general job market. So don't get into this comparison matrix where you just look around you and be like, hey, I'm not good enough. But think about how much better you are than every other applicant for any of those roles. Focus on your strengths. And as Atiyah pointed out earlier, apply to 20 jobs, be very honest about yourself. If you did your research well enough before choosing a school, I can guarantee you when you get out of school, finding a job is not going to be the challenge. Trusting yourself really will be the challenge.
Okay, so there will be pressure, but how you tackle it and what kind of mentality you have will be really important when you're dealing with that pressure. Okay, that's really insightful. Again, thank you so much. Same question to you, Atiyah. Did you feel any pressure after you graduated, and did you feel like, you had to succeed no matter what? And if yes, how did you tackle it?
So there'll be pressure at each stage, right from the day you apply for your applications for your master degree abroad. You will have different expectations. If you're moving abroad, life will be easy. You will be able to achieve what you want to achieve, and then you'll be able to apply for jobs, get those jobs. So you will have an insight and you will see your future over there. But once you come here, life is different. Like you'll be homesick, you will be working, like you'll be studying, and you will be, if somebody has financial issues, you will be, working part-time as well parallel, and you have to be your whole, like mother, father, like you have to be responsible for everything what you do in your life here. So there'll be like your world would turn around. But like pressure, it's like you should, as a person, you know how to handle pressure in your life. So if you have the right goals, if you know what you are seeking in your future and what sort of jobs opportunities you are looking for after your master degree, and keep applying and keep studying according to your goals, and shortlist those companies or shortlist those jobs based on your public profile. Like if, like, say you are looking job for MBA, you're looking job as a data engineer, software developer, keep shortlisting them. Check them on daily basis. Like I used to check on weekly basis after my semester 2 study, because 1 year course study is like a very fast paced course. So you don't really have time to look around, but take your own time, like go explore the new country, take care of yourself. It's not easy, but it's not difficult as well. So parallelly manage your things. Some people are not able to cope up their part-time job as well as their studies. So my only suggestion to the people who have some financial issues and who have taken loans, what my personal experience here in Ireland is, even if you're a fresher or you're an experienced person, you will be able to land a job soon, and your minimum wage would cover your whole expenses for your master as well as your for your universities as well as your college fees within like 1.5 year. So don't rush things. You know, keep a track on what you do need to do first, and then you need to achieve next. And guys, everybody who applies and who work hard on their resume, who work hard for their interview, they would be able to land a job somewhere deep inside. Like I applied for almost 3 months. Like I was just doing internship, I was doing a part-time job, and then I was applying for jobs. I had interview now, I had interviewed next, and then I'm going for a job. So all these things together takes a lot of time, and somewhere you lose I don't want to do this. I think I'm giving up. I think I need to move back to my country. So you will see these things a lot in you, but you need to calm yourself down. If you're not able to go for interviews, skip it for 1 or 2 days or a week and then start reapplying. Go refresh yourself. Go, you have friends, you have people over here, Irish people, and the Ireland life here is so good. I have experienced a lot of things over here, which in a way is very good. So just work towards what you want to do. Don't lose hope. Don't keep working, keep progressing. Some way or the other you will be able to achieve what you are looking for.
I mean, both of you sharing your thoughts and coming from experienced people like you, I think even I am motivated right now. I'm sure that the other people who are actually listening to you right now would be motivated as well. It surely is about making sure that you get to the right university and to the right program as well. And you do not have to just apply to universities which are trending or the programs which are trending. It's mostly about your research, what you like, how you want to go about it. So my question to you right now would be, how did you select your universities? I mean, it's a very important question for students who want to go abroad because it changes their life altogether if they're going to some university that they won't like at all. So coming from both of you, it will be really insightful for everyone how you used to select, you at the time of your selection of universities, when you started applying to universities and colleges as well, B schools, everything. What did you keep in your mind and how did you select? What was your selection process like? Krishna, I would like you to go first for this.
I think overall there's multiple approaches to this, but if you're applying for MBAs specifically, right, then the approach is either you give the GMAT first, or you look at your dream schools, figure out a GMAT score, and then prepare for that score first. But at the end of the day, the first step, especially for an Indian applicant, is to get a GMAT score, right? In my case, once I had a GMAT score, I looked at the colleges that would fit in my ranking, but also most importantly, colleges that fit your ranking will be from anywhere in the world. So you need to figure out your non-negotiables, which countries you want to work in, which countries you have a network in, which countries have a post-study work visa and amount of risk that suits you, and how much these business schools cost. Once you factor in how much you're willing to spend and where you want to work, you'll find yourself with a short list of ranking B schools based on, hey, this is my score, these are the B schools that fit my criteria, these are the rankings, and I have to pick one. And at that stage, I'd recommend that you try your level best to reach out to people from those business schools, read student reviews on forums, and find as much information as you can to understand the life experience and the lived experiences of the students there. Because rankings don't really tell a complete or honest story, and it's much more important for you to know about the area itself. For example, I didn't choose INSEAD, which is in Fontainebleau in France, because Fontainebleau is a village. It's really not much of a city. It's a university town, and there's not much to do outside of INSEAD, the business school. And for me personally, what I did outside of the business school and the local community and infrastructure around me was very important. And also, I didn't want to learn French. So you really need to find out what matters to you, and then ignore the rankings, speak to real people on the ground, and make sure that what matters to you is actually there at that school and there's no unforeseen challenges, and then go ahead.
Okay, that's great. And Atiyah, could you please tell us how you shortlisted and what did you do to, get back to your perfect shortlist and apply to universities?
So I'll be honest here. When I applied for master's degree here in Ireland, I had barely few choices. All the universities were closed by the time I applied. There were just 1 or 2 universities left, and only the colleges who were accepting applications. So the first major thing learned from here is like apply on the right time if you want to look out for universities or college. And the major difference what I have found here is like you would think like universities, like would it matter if you look out for job if you are from university or a college? In my experience, the sort of jobs I applied and the interviews I have received, I don't really think it's just the universities or the college that matters. What matters is your skills. What matters is your previous experience, or what matters is what you're showcasing in your resume. So I wasn't really sure like if choosing in college would be an option for me. So I seeked out to the help like what GradRight is doing right now, like helping people in choosing colleges or universities for them. Like you decide, you do your own research, but you need some confirmation. You need to understand what these college or universities do. So I have an understanding like choosing Ireland is not a bad choice either. Like initial plan was to go to Canada, but then I get to know about Ireland. I talk to a lot of people who have been through the same college and the universities, and I was in a positive understanding. Like even if I choose a college and if I have the right skills, I would be able to apply to those universities. And while applying, the minimum eligibility for the courses, like the technical courses we have here, is like either you have a past bachelor degree in the same experience. If not, you might go through a technical interview. If not, you can directly apply, and you need an IELTS score, but you can give the IELTS after your application is approved. Like you can submit your scores later. So there wasn't any a big huge hurdle while applying for these college or universities. But yes, if you are seeking some good exposure, good university experience, and do not want to go to colleges, then you have to apply sooner. Like if you delay on that, and you might lose your chances.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Atiyah. Yeah, Krishna, you would like to add something?
Yeah, something to add here is essentially to all students, don't be in a rush. Master's degrees in foreign universities, especially, generally want students with more work experience. The Indian culture very much is to finish your bachelor's and immediately start applying for masters. But if you're too late to apply for certain colleges, if you find yourself in the fifth round, if you find yourselves in Atiyah's situation where some colleges aren't accepting applications anymore, but your dream college is a different one, please feel free to take a year off. Spend that year preparing better for your GMAT score, preparing better for IELTS, and gaining some valuable work experience, because all of these things will make you more employable in a foreign country.
Yeah,
The impending
absolutely.
failure of rush is, oh my God, I'm going to waste a year, is really not true. And it's
Yeah,
very much a made up thing. And I really wish more students would get work experience, because it helps you decide what course, what degree, what kind of work you want to do in the future, much more than any business school or any master's degree could help you. Like get some experience now,
absolutely.
if you take a year off.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It doesn't only imply, I think, in this regard that, you like that work gap is something that will affect your application, but somewhere it will also be more clear. That is a very good point. It actually helps you get a lot of clarity when you're applying abroad, because going abroad is something which is expensive. You're going away, and first of all, it actually changes your life. It can be either of two things in my understanding, that is either good or bad. If you choose a bad university, you'll regret it the rest of your life. If you'll choose a good university and you are actually experiencing it in a good way, I think there are a lot of things you learn from it and you're happy. So coming to that, understanding both of your points, how you selected your universities, what were your circumstances at that point, I would like to share with everyone one of our platforms that GradRight is trying to create and build and has started to build to help students choose the right universities out there, called SelectRight. Here I'm sharing my screen right now. So basically, this is a platform which we are trying to create for students, where we have this understanding that students need to choose universities on the basis of their admission chances and their preferences, what they want in a university. And we have seen from a lot of students that somewhere they are, going for universities uh, which is actually not that great for them. They have great test scores, they have a great background as well, and they can get to various good universities as well, but they're still applying to such universities which will not land them good jobs after they are done with their masters abroad. So SelectRight is one platform which is trying to somewhere break that bias which everyone has to go through. Everyone has their own kind of experience or their own kind of opinions when they're applying to universities. So SelectRight is one free platform which helps students to actually select the right universities on the basis of their admission chances, where we actually calculate what the admission chance is in regards to the student's profile, what they have done in their bachelor's, work experience, their different scores. And also, this platform calculates your preference in the basis of the math score. So if you have certain preferences in regards to which kind of university you want to go for, you can actually choose it in the platform where you can choose different preferences. For example, if you're going for a business school, if I am going for a business school, I would really like to go to a school which has return on investment, placement, and learning, or brand. So I choose brand over here and I just have to update it. And every school that I get here, or every university or every program I'll be getting here, will be in regards to that preference. And I can check my match on that regard. Same goes for the admission chance. It depends on the kind of profile I have, the my different scores that I have, and what I have done in my past, in my bachelor's, which school I am representing, which university I graduated from, those kinds of things. Now, GradRight doesn't only help in regards to shortlisting or application process. We are trying to help students in regards to funding as well. So we have come up with this service called Fundable Shortlist. Now, what is Fundable Shortlist? It's something that is really important for students to understand. When you actually are looking for a shortlist, it's not only important that you go to the top ranked universities or universities you have a chance to get an admit from, but also where you can get the funds for. So in GradRight, we'll help you understand your fundability at the first step, that is shortlisting, where we'll help you understand what kind of loan and how much amount of loan you can actually get. For example, if you can get a loan for around 40 to 50 lakhs on the basis of your financial and your educational profile, then we'll create a whole shortlist for you, that too free of cost, to help you understand your fundability around that mark itself. And after that, you can start applying to those universities. We have different services as well, where one of the major services that we actually want to talk about in this webinar as well is Mentor Connect. Mentor Connect is a program where we help the students to actually get in touch with different alumni or current students of universities abroad that they actually want to apply for or go for. As both Atiyah and Krishna said, you need to get in touch with students who have experienced it all. You need to get in touch with students or alumni who have had the chance to, experience all the things and learn from their mistakes, learn from their right doings, and where they are today. And if you have that chance to talk to those students, I think you can actually get the perfect shortlist for you. You can decide where to go for and how to apply to those universities as well. Understanding what to write on your SOPs, LORs, how to prepare for your application, your interviews, everything can be done on that one Mentor Connect call. So you can just reach out to GradRight. We'll be sharing an email ID at the end where you can reach out to us if you want to get connected to any of the mentors anywhere where you are willing to apply for, and to understand how to go ahead with that. So coming to that part, Atiyah and Krishna, I would like both of you to just give us some insight on how you think this platform will be for students. Anyone can
Hello.
go first. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
no worries. Personally, I think this is something I would have really loved when I was applying for universities, because it took me, I think I spent 75% of the entire application process just doing research, right? The actual
Okay.
application was a lot easier than sitting down and doing the research and making sure I'd made the right choice. And also, I spent a good few months after landing here wondering whether or not I had made the right choice, because you speak to a whole bunch of other people who had different journeys throughout the application process, and you're not really informed or armed with as much.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I think, even for students who really made their choice, if you go through a platform like this and look at every single opportunity around you, then you'll feel more confident in your choice. And that confidence will carry forward to dissolving some of the pressure you face inevitably when you come here. So
For
again, more
sure.
information is always better. Anything that helps with research is wonderful. And I'm really optimistic that students who are using this platform will have better chances than I originally did.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Atiyah.
I think you have reduced a lot of manual tasks, as Krishna mentioned. Like I would have spent months to do this, like research universities, research college, and then we would sit with the pen and a paper. Okay, this university is okay. I would be able to apply, and then I would reach out to alumni. Can I apply to this? Would I have a minimum eligibility? How much was your score? So my score is this. So like because every college or university have an application fee. You can apply, you have an eligibility, but still in the back of your mind, do you want to pay that application fee until unless you're eligible? So that this platform would be able to cut short on that. Okay, if I would have 60% chances, I would give it a shot. If I would have 40% chance, I would not want to try and spend money on my application fees. And also based on the interest, if you are looking for universities, you will be able to filter out that. So I would have spent months to do this. And my ideal goal was, what I suggest people is like spend another 1 year if you are planning for your master's or MBA abroad. But I think you have cut down on short of the time. And even if I apply 6 months before, and if I reach out to you guys and have this platform, it will be very beneficial to people. So yeah, great work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are actually trying to build the perfect platform for students to not have any biases and select the right universities. So to all of you who are present here today, that's all about the platform. All you have to do is just sign up, complete your profile, and you'll definitely get a call from one of our advisors. And thank you both, Atiyah and Krishna. Now, as I know that there are going to be a lot of questions that student might ask and would want to ask both of you. So there are approximately 3 questions right now that we have. One is from Vanshika Juneja. If we have done graduation from one open university, then is it okay to apply to any European, that is UK or Ireland, universities for the further studies? Atiyah, you can go first for this.
I think you are eligible to apply for university. The minimum eligibility in Ireland is you need to have 16 years of schooling, like 16 years of study. So if you have completed total in your whole life 16 years of study, you can apply to colleges or universities, though you might have some less chances at universities because they might be looking for some more relatable your studies. But yes, you might have chances for colleges. And adding to that, a lot of people have this confusion whether if you choose university or college, would that affect your job goal? In terms of jobs, no, but in terms of experiences and exposure for your master's degree, then yes, you obviously going to have a good experience with universities. The professor and the quality of the course would be great. But if you compare the course module and the course content, there'll be slight changes. So if you're not able to apply to university, definitely you can go for colleges if you have the right goal.
Okay, thank you so much. Same question to you, Krishna. If a student is actually has done a graduation from an open university, would they be eligible or can they apply to any UK university?
The answer to that question is strictly yes, but I think it's much more important for essentially, if you've done a non-conventional degree, if you've done a degree where you're not sure if this is the right answer, you should reach out to every university you intend to apply to and just send them an email. Be very clear about saying,
Okay.
hey, this is my question, this is my thought. It's much more
Yeah.
important to get that clear research done for your university than it is for you to say, hey, I assume this is right for the country as a whole. As per law, any degree that is provided, as long as it completes the full number of contact hours, as Atiyah pointed out, is valid for the UK, is valid for Ireland, should be valid for most European countries as well. I'm sure Germany is no exception. But if you're not sure, write an email. The admissions team in most of these schools are people who are paid very, very well to respond to your emails. So please send them more emails.
Yeah, even we also try to say the same thing to students when we are actually approaching them, to help them ahead, because this is a very good thing that the students can actually do for the research purposes as well to understand if they are eligible for the university or not. Just send them an email and you'll get an answer for sure. Also, another thing that I would like to know, and there is one question from Mirza Shahid Beg. I would just like to know, what is the minimum work experience that is required in regards to at least an MBA degree when it comes to, when you're going abroad from sorry, Krishna, could you please answer that?
There is no minimum as per most business schools. So if you look for a business school, they're not going to tell you, hey, we have a minimum or maximum work experience. But every business school will tell you about their current class profile. So what is the average years of work experience of students who are currently studying there? I'd very much use that as a benchmark. I'd also note that specifically for students applying from India, because we have such a large number of people, most jobs in the country, most early starting level jobs are extremely junior and don't train you very well for senior level jobs. So when you're applying for a business degree, you probably need at least the same, if not more years of experience than the average years of experience of that class. If all of this information is
Understood.
not the most helpful, I'd say, please think about this as a minimum of 2 years and as much more as you can, but a maximum of 5 years, because at that point of time, when you have 5 years of work experience, you should probably consider an executive MBA rather than a regular MBA degree.
Understood. Okay.
Again,
And
more
what about the
discipline captured.
what about the freshers MBAs that are also available out there? Do students, would it be actually good for them to have work experience on that regard, or would it be okay to not have any work experience?
My personal experience with any university that is allowing you to study there without work experience is also the kind of place that's allowing every single other student at that university to come in without work experience. If I'm applying
Okay.
for a foreign degree in a foreign university, I'm learning 50% from the university and 50% from my classmates. And having
Understood.
classmates who never actually worked a day in their lives means the quality of what I'm learning from them is much, much lower. Ideally,
Yeah.
if there's a place that's taking in students without work experience, think very carefully about what you're learning versus how much you're spending and
Hmm.
whether that's worth it for you. For me personally, that wouldn't be the right decision. But depending on your degree, if you're studying something very technical and if you're sure your employability is not based on work experience, that might be the right choice. For an MBA
Understood.
degree, if you are going in without work experience, I'd very much challenge you to think about whether this is the right option for you.
Okay, understood. Somewhere, coming back to the same thing that you said, that it will always help you understand whether the choice of course that you are going for is right for you or not, if you do some kind of work experience in the same field. Same question to you, Atiyah. In relation to the program and the degree that you have, what about work experience? How helpful it can be for students?
So for master's degree, which is technical things, so it's my experience is relatively different than what Krishna has. So you might need experience for MBA, but if you're applying for any technical jobs or technical like computer science related or data analytics, data science related master's degree, you need to have the skills. So even if you are a fresher or even if you are an experienced person, that does matter. Obviously, like experience would be given a priority, but don't worry if you are a fresher and if you are planning to apply just right from your bachelor's degree and just want to go to master degree, because some people have a different perspective about life. Like, they think like they won't be able to study further if they start doing a job. So you can go for these master's degree just to work on a skill set, majorly work on the tools and the technologies what companies are looking for. We have a lot of graduate roles here in Ireland as well as other countries as well. So like this is my personal experience with the people who were fresher and who are within the experience of 2 to 3 years which I have attained. Everybody, all I would say almost 90% of them have landed a job after 6 months to 1 year of their master degree course, depending on their experiences and how they clear interviews and how they apply for the jobs. So yes, even if fresher, you can go with this course, just work more on your resume thing. And if you're experienced, then happy days, just work, you will be able to get jobs in like few interviews. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for these insights. It really helps for sure. Thank you both, Atiyah and Krishna, for your valuable insights here. And, being a part of this webinar, helping us understand so many things about why UK or why Ireland or why a student can actually offer both of these countries as well. So thank you so much. Now, everyone who is present here, coming to the part on how you can earn a free SOP or a free Mentor Connect, or even both, all you have to do is send us 3 points as to why you want to pursue your master's in your preferred country. Again, just repeating it. Why do you want to actually pursue your master's in your preferred country? Where you have to send it is simple, an email ID, which we are going to share it in the comment section below. Select right at gradright.com. This is the email ID. It's in the chat below. Sorry about that. Chat below. Selectright at gradright.com. SELECTRIGHT @gradright.com. And if you have any other queries or want to connect with us, you can just go to our platform, sign up, complete your profile, or you want any help in regards to shortlisting, do the same, or just reach out to us in the same email ID. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you both, Atiyah and Krishna. It was really interesting, and I had a really good time talking to both of you. Thank you so much for this. And yeah, bye bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Bye bye.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.